I write the things that only I can say. Nobody else can tell the stories that I tell because they true to me. They true to where I come from and the people I grew up around. So it's only a story that can be written by Joseph.
Yeah, let's get to it. I say a prayer and I get to it. If it's a problem, we get to it. Never know hating, we get to it. I took an L, had to get to it. I overcame what I've been through. If it's a problem, we get to it. Never know hating, we get to it. Let's get to it.
Man, what a moment this is. I'm here with somebody who, for a lot of people, needs no introduction. But for those who don't know, this is the legend, Michael Jackson.
Yes, sir.
In the flesh, here in the city. Mike, I appreciate you so much for being here, bro.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate
Come
you.
on, man. Yes, sir. How you feeling? How you been? You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's been rocky. It's been rocky, but I feel good. I'm just favored.
Yeah.
That's one thing I recognize. This past week, I was remembered that for some reason, I am immensely blessed and immensely favored. No matter what, tribulations or trials come my way, I always come out on the high side, and then setbacks are just little, things for me to catapult into the next phase shift.
Yeah.
So, man, to me, life is amazing.
That's right.
Life is beautiful. Life is just too nice. It's nice, and I'm doing well. I'm healthy, looking young, looking good.
Talk about it. Pop
Yes, sir.
it.
Yeah. I feel real nice. I mean, I can't even lie. A lot of things have happened my way, but they're just little momentary things that just allow me to recalibrate to just knock myself into the next phase, phase shift. Things are going, really well for me. Yeah. I can't lie.
I love to hear that, bro. You have such a unique story, and you have had such a cultural imprint, not just in the DFW, but nationwide, and I'm honored to be sitting here because, like I told you before the cameras came on, I don't know if I'm making music. I don't know if I've made this album without your creativity you had as a teenager. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to give you your flowers before we dive all the way into the conversation and just say, I appreciate you.
I love it.
I appreciate your journey, your story.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And once again, bro, I'm just so honored that you would just, sit across from me and just chop it up. You know what I'm saying? As we in the midst of, rolling this album out, Dream City, which you heard a couple years ago.
Yes, sir.
But it's finally on its way out. And I knew one of the most important things was to sit down and have a conversation with you. Because obviously you are a staple in the Arlington story for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Where are you originally from? Are you originally from the Agg? Like, where are your parents from? Just give me a little background on yourself, bro.
Right. I mean, when I think about my background, it starts off humble, real humble. It's 6 of us. So my parents were born and raised in Ghana, that's West Africa. Mm-hmm. And, so we have that cultural background with us as an African ancestry. And it's 6 of us. There's 3 boys, 3 girls, and I'm number 4. So I have I have an oldest brother, oldest sister, then another older brother, then it's me, then 2 younger sisters. So it's 3 and 3. A nice split right down the middle.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised in Arlington, so, I like to leverage both of that, cultural sides of me. And I think it's a really nice, amazing piece of my history because I definitely understand both.
Yeah.
I'm Black, but I'm African at the same time.
You're a true African American.
Right. The African, my mom and dad speak the language. They raised me with that culture, but at the same time, I'm in the streets, and we doing our thing in Black, in the inner cities of Arlington. But, so I definitely got to give props to my parents for, instilling certain foundations in me. Because what that did is, if I ever led astray, I kind of gleaned towards those foundations, and then I kind of self-correct back to how I was raised, by my parents. My dad was a hard worker, didn't show too much love, but he's going to work, he's going to be stern, he's going to work, and you get to learn from that. I would ask him a simple question like, can I go outside and play? If someone came to the house, he would spend like the next 3 to 5 minutes just pondering on the question, clicking on the remote, watching TV, chilling. And I'm just sitting in the back of the couch waiting for his answer, respectfully as a child. And he's, after 5 minutes, he may say, no. And that's it. Then I got to just respect that no.
For sure.
Or he might say yes. But what that taught me was that he doesn't, make haste to any decisions. And I've learned to that. He ponders and thinks before he makes any decision. So he's going to account and recount. What did this boy do this past week? Was he in trouble? Was he misbehaving?
Yeah.
Or was he a good boy? Does he deserve to go outside? Because, you only get what you deserve. So that's kind of what I've kind of adopted into my adult life, is I take time before I make decisions. So upbringing was nice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was humble, didn't have too much. Maybe bring some clothes from the previous year or 2 years ago into into the current. Might turn some jeans into shorts by cutting them in half.
Yeah.
To go from winter to summer. Might hand it down. It's a bunch of us. Might have 2 or 3 of us sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
And you're just enjoying that, that atmosphere, that space. And, that was just, my upbringing. So my family was a big, inspiration and really molded me in a way. And I actually didn't start listening to rap. It was like forbidden in our home.
Bruh, hold on, man. I think that was like every black home. Like if you had a parent who was like really like in the faith for real. Yeah. Like, bruh, it was what I'm saying? I never listened to a rap song with my mom ever.
Right.
With my dad, we getting all, but with mom, absolutely not. Yeah. It was a no-go. So in your house, just totally, it was like a no-go.
Yeah, when it came to rap music, it was a no, My parents were straight off the boat. They came here, to make a splash, to give the next generation the opportunity to kind of see what this American dream is like. So it wasn't as if, they made a lot of money. They just instilled us with certain, like qualities and traits, resilience, and, just being a person of your own, not really being persuaded. I didn't smoke or drink ever throughout my childhood, to young adult. It wasn't until I was 26 years old till I finally, took my first sip of alcohol. Yeah. So that said a lot about respecting my parents, and it really mattered about their opinion. And I think that made a difference too. But yeah, I couldn't listen to rap until I was probably a freshman in high school.
No way.
So I was jamming R&B. It was a while. It was a while. It was forbidden. So we couldn't watch, TV shows or cartoons like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh because of
Yu-Gi-Oh was the devil.
Yeah, it was the devil.
We had whole church services that Yu-Gi-Oh was the devil.
So
Pokemon, not Pokemon, Pokemon.
Pokemon
was
so
the
that,
devil.
Yeah, so that kind of let you know how structured our household was, and it was all about, structures and principles and stuff and being respectful, and having to try and intertwine that with like the area that I was, raised around African Americans and really embracing that culture and trying to fit in. It was difficult trying to fit in.
Yeah, what was that like? So going from your house that is, from Ghana, like everything is, from the motherland, like to go outside, and obviously it's a whole different world. We're the first generation of kids or whatever to be like, yeah, we from Arlington. Before that, nobody's parents is from Arlington. You know what I'm saying? We're the first generation to be like, no, we from the ad. As far as black people, we're like, we from Arlington. Before that, like my parents is from LA and Virginia. you know, and then I got most of our friends, they either they might be from Dallas, or they might be from Fort Worth, or they might be from another place because of GM, you know, the factory that we got there.
Yeah.
And so what was it like for you having to, you know, with these core values you have in the house and then going outside, especially early on? What was that like for you?
Yeah, it's tricky because, you know, Arlington is kind of like a melting pot. Usually folks aren't like just from there, born and raised, like their parents, like a generation or two behind, came from somewhere else and they migrated.
Exactly.
You know, my parents, you know, came from Africa and went here and there and kind of migrated like a nomad, went to New Jersey, ended up in Fort Worth, and ended up in Arlington, and that became our home. But, you know, that transition from being inside an African household, because when I was home, it was like I'm in Little Africa.
Yeah.
You know, the smells, the aromas, the spices.
Yeah.
I'm in Africa.
That's right.
The accent, the tones, you know, the language. I'm in Africa. But once I step outside, you know, I'm outside.
I'm outside.
You know, I get to kind of code switch and kind of turn on that swag, you know, and it was nice. And my parents really never knew what the hell I had going on.
Right. Like most
None
of our
them.
parents, we was really latchkey kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my son, he ain't never had a house key for himself, but that was like, we all had house keys on our neck, because that was like, you know, we were all latchkey kids, and, you know, we literally had our own completely separate lives outside, you know? And so one of the things, Mike, that I think we all got to experience was just your creativity and your expression. Like, I remember seeing you dance first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I first knew you for, was Mike Jack, that dance. And, you know, where did like that come from, that creativity, like that expression? You know, where did you get that from?
Damn. You know, I think just being, also that came from being African.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to dance in Africa. We're not going to be ashamed to dance in Africa. And we're always just looking to, you know, just do something innovative, you know, when it comes to music, art, dance, any kind of that style. So I was kind of intrigued and immersed in that culture, you know, and in that style of art. And for my name being Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so hold on. Yeah, we got to get to that. So where did that, because that's a name.
That's a name.
That, oh, mind you, today is his birthday.
Damn.
So this is really serendipity.
God damn it.
So we getting the only Mike Jack interview on Mike Jack, Michael Jackson's birthday. Insane.
Damn.
So, like, bro, where was that intentional? Like, because your parents didn't listen to, but at the same time, Michael is Michael Jackson.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I think at that moment in time, you know, Mike, you know, he was an icon. Michael Jackson, like, everybody loved him in all households.
Facts.
But in my situation, the way I manifested with that name, Michael Jackson, was unique. So I mentioned I had a big family, and everyone, you know, made it to the hospital. You know, they was born, hooray. They got my dad's last name. For me, I was born on the couch. Yeah. I didn't make it to the hospital. Blue, and I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, God damn it. And my mom pushed me out. My dad was busy, you know, making money. So my mom had to call the, you know, police, called the ambulance. They came, you know, picked her up, took us to the hospital. And as, you know, they rolled her in and me on the gurney, you know, through the hallway, everyone just clapping, talking about miracle baby, because, you know, she pushed me out on the couch. And I'm just like, you know, I'm here. So because of that connection, that bond, and the method that I was delivered at home, my mom wanted to do something different for me. They knew that my first name was going to be Michael. So they gave me my mother's maiden last name as Jackson. So that's how I ended up becoming Michael Jackson. You put it together like booty cheeks. That's Michael Jackson. So that's how I manifested. Well, that's the story I was told.
Right.
You know, at least. So, and really that name has really been, you know, significant throughout my, you know, young, you know, childhood and adulthood. And I've learned to really embrace that, you know, because even this morning, getting off a flight, going through security, I heard a Michael Jackson joke, you know, when someone looked, you know, leaving Avis to get my rental car, the guy was like, Yeah, like they've been lying this whole time talking about,
Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson's dead. He's actually not dead. And I'm like, ha ha, you funny, but like every week but yeah, like that name is thrown, but I kind of like it now. I don't know if I'll give it to my son, but
Yeah.
because, it takes a special individual to be able to just carry that name and not really, be emotionally tied to kind of like the jokes and the stuff and all the attention to it. But I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fire, bro.
Yeah.
That's fire. So where did the creativity kick in as far as like, when did you get your first camera? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because back then, bro, now everybody has a camera, everybody does videos, everybody's making content. That wasn't a thing, early 2000s. Nobody had cameras.
Yeah.
Barely anybody had a computer, especially in black households. Like, you might know, maybe if your friend group 10 people, maybe 3 got computers. You know what I'm saying? And maybe 2 actually know what to do on the computers. Like, so where does where do you pick up your camera for the first time?
That's an interesting question. Damn, when I think about it, I was always just someone that was just so thrilled with electronics, whether it's a computer, taking it apart, putting it back together, taking out the hard drive, driving down, the street to my homeboy's house and downloading music on it, coming back, chopping and screwing music, selling, DVDs, selling mixtapes, selling, chop and screw albums. I was doing a lot in high school. I was selling music, selling mixtape, creating chopped and screwed music, selling those mixtapes. I was selling ink pens. I was selling rhinestone belts. I was selling ink. I was doing a lot. I was even selling, goddammit, Airhead Extremes. So when I walk in, goddamn me, that school, I got my backpack here. I got my box of shit that I'm selling. I'm hustling nonstop. I'm in class. What you need? You need, the strawberry flavor.
Yeah, facts.
You need the lime.
What you?
I'm over here selling Airheads. I'm selling belts with rhinestones on it. I'm selling gel ink pens. I'm selling everything. And then I also got a big ass, CD case with I got Tupac and it's alphabetically ordered, A to Z, from the numbers to Z. And I'm selling bootleg music, albums.
Which everybody was doing.
Everybody was doing.
You couldn't go to a barbershop and not find
Right. So the camera was picked up probably really close to then because electronics was my thing. And probably like freshman not even freshman, probably 8th grade, so I'm probably 13 by then. That's probably 2002, 2001. And I'm just infatuated with the camera. It was like a handheld Canon, like a Canon PowerShot. And I was amazed to have that, like a 12 megapixels, type of camera. And I'm recording, some trash type of, resolution with that, and then I upgraded and tried to keep upgrading.
How did you upgrade through what you were selling at school? You was just taking it and flip the money. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade this. Take them, you know what I'm saying? Is that how you upgraded? Or?
I definitely invested in myself. I would make money because I wasn't making money at home. I didn't get no allowance.
Facts,
we poor. I can't lie, we poor. Ain't no one getting no allowance.
We allowed to live here.
Yeah, and if we did get an allowance, it's probably for a couple weeks. $5 a week for like 3 weeks, and then they realized we can't do that. It's 6 of them.
It's 6 of y'all. That's 30 a week.
So I, had to make some money, just get some hot dogs or Skittles and Starburst when I'm going through school.
Yeah.
But I would kind of invest, and I would always be in tune with the latest, gadgets and stuff and resolutions. And so I had a camera, and I was just recording random stuff, just random stuff. It was never about fights. I'm at the pep rally. Yep. I'm outside. I'm at the track meet. I'm at a football game. I'm at a basketball game. I'm at the, YMCA. I'm at the Boys and Girls Club. I'm just trying to record something, and I keep it on me at all times, like a phone.
Yeah.
And I'm always just quick with it. Boom, and I'm recording. And then I was infatuated with that. And then I realized I just had so much footage of just recording stuff in the city. I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do with this stuff? It's on my mom's computer because I'm at home, and I just have all like a database filled with just stuff.
Before databases and before people was having hard drives and
Right.
iClouds. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
no cloud, no nothing. A big heavy hard drive that if you shake it too hard,
It's cooked.
it's rendered useless, you know? So I've had hard drives that I had some valuable stuff on there. I'm trying to transport it. I don't know. I'm on a bike, you know, going to my homeboy house so I can, cause he had, you know, high-speed internet, and he had, I think it was
High-speed internet.
like, I think it had like LimeWire or
Yeah.
Kazaa, and could download music and
Napster.
Napster and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of get the music from him. Then I'd ride home, and then I'd download the music, and then I'd chop and screw it, and I'd get to school. So this was you know, it was a system of things that happened. And yeah, so the camera started that early, and I was just recording stuff. I didn't know what I was intending to do with. I just recognized I recorded a lot of fights in that moment. Out of all the other, you know, I'm recording. It's women that are hanging out the car. They shaking their ass. They on top of cars. So
Teenage shit. Just teenage shit.
Teenage shit. We
Yeah.
enjoying ourselves.
That's it, bro. Just having a good time.
Yes, sir. And then, I mean, folks just kept always wanting to see the latest footage. They wanted to see, hey, so-and-so and so-and-so had a fight, you know. I want to see that, you know, how did it turn out? And I'm like, you can come to my house and I'll show it to you. You know, I got it. It's on, you know, it's on my mom's computer. Come, you know, come to the crib and I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what started everything. Folks coming to my mom's house, watching, you know, fights. Oh, snap, that's what really happened.
Going back and telling everybody.
And I'm just like, this was kind of stressful, just having to find, you know, moments when my mom's not home so kids can come to the house.
Oh, that's a whole
watch
nother.
it.
That's a whole nother
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
I want y'all to come, but can't nobody be here when mom gets
Right. She can't know the operation. She
cannot
can't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's a different level of
So it was a
stress.
lot going on. And
Yeah.
folks just really came to me because they knew Mike Jack is that dude that always just captures the fights in this school or that school. I would travel to different schools just if I heard the fights happening, I'm gonna be there or I'm gonna send someone that got a camera of mine to record and just to capture it. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it.
Yeah.
I just wanted footage.
You literally are a documentarian at that point.
Right. I look at
That's it.
myself like a goddamn like a storm catcher.
Oh,
I
that's
really looked
crazy.
at myself like someone that records like tornadoes. These are naturally occurring events. I have a device that can capture these events.
Wow.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just capturing events. It's natural.
Yeah.
Nothing is staged. Nothing is, coerced. Nothing. None of that.
Facts.
But the law enforcement, thought otherwise and saw otherwise. But that's really how it started.
So before we go there, like, let's just talk about the energy that was taking place in the city. So before, it was really just you capturing what's going on in the city, but there was an energy that was already brewing for a bunch of different reasons, right? So we have two places that are cultural hubs for the DFW at the same time. We have Venice Beach and we have the stadium that have become these cultural hubs in a way to where it's like, okay, Dallas is Dallas, Fort Worth is Fort Worth, but what's our identity? We didn't have an identity. Y'all gave us an identity. Y'all's generation gave us that identity, whether it was for me, I play basketball.
Yeah.
Hoopers like B. Fields.
Damn, yeah,
Hoopers like, I forget my man's name that went to Bowie too. He ended up going to Boise State. He could hoop, he was cold. But him, Moses.
Yeah.
Moses E. Humby.
Yeah. Folks said make it out. Yeah.
And they gave, for basketball, they gave us an identity, right? Steph, Moutier, they gave us okay, Evan, all these people gave us a basketball identity in the Agg. And then we also started to have a music identity with what DigiNorm, aka Norm T at the time was doing. So he was giving us a musical identity at the same time. So all of this is developing while also the gangster stuff is starting
you can't
to develop.
forget about Hollywood when it came
That's
to
what I was
music.
gonna say. B-Ham.
Eclipse, B-Ham, YT, G-Money,
That's a
all
fact.
them boys.
Yeah.
And they were really making a splash and significant and making some moves in the city.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yes,
So
sir.
tell me what that energy, because I'm a couple years behind you. So tell me what that energy felt like at that time, as it's like all of these things are happening, bubbling at the same time in the city.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, I mean, folks in Arlington kind of stayed in Arlington. I mean, we don't have cars. We're in high school. We're
Yep.
14, 15, 16. We're just doing our thing. And we were kind of making a name in that sense, whether it came to, music or sports. And folks started to kind of like trickle into the city from whether it's Fort Worth or Dallas. Folks will come to Arlington, cause some mischief,
Yep.
and get their ass up out of there. So Arlington was kind of getting a rap as this dangerous place to be in. But us folks that were born and raised in Arlington, we're like, damn, we're not really doing too much. It's folks from Oak Cliff, it's folks from Stop Six, it's folks from all these different places coming in, causing mischief and then like disappearing, and like we're having to deal with that. But I mean, it was significant. I mean, when it came to like the stadium and all these different things, and the dance culture was significant there, and the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club, folks would definitely come to Arlington to turn up and have fun. Women were there, and I was recording at the same time, and it was kind of getting out. And folks would come in and they would kind of like what they saw, the energy, and they loved it, and they would kind of stay and would make it a point to always come back to the city. And we would just, have a lot of fun. No folks from Dallas would come in often.
Every weekend.
And enjoy every weekend.
During the summer.
And I know some folks now, specifically like Big B.I.G. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but he ended up getting with the Young Money squad and Chris Brown squad, and he's out there doing his thing and ended up getting wrapped up in the charges with Chris Brown and stuff. But like he was on the fight tape. He, came out there. So he ended up in that squad, in that camp. B.I.G., my homeboy Flo, that's his cousin. And so really folks just started respecting Arlington, loving Arlington, coming out to Arlington, and it was a place they wanted to be. And I was in the middle of everything, just recording, and I made a name just from that because I recognized that was mostly the footage that I had. Yeah. Just folks just, trying to get their scratch, trying to get even. And it was all just real, and I just wanted to capture that that history.
Did you see a future for yourself with the camera at that time? Was that like something you was like, you know what, this, like Mike Jack, the director, filmmaker, was that like a thing for you at that time? Or were you just like, I don't know, man, I'm just having fun? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, like to be honest, that camera kind of was my focus. I no longer cared about school. I was brilliant, but I never really applied myself because I'm getting phone calls every day. Every weekend, folks are expecting me to be on the scene.
The scene, club, which is what we called it.
Yeah, be on the scene. At this club, at this party, at this, event. And it was addicting. Thanks. My parents want me to get good grades, but I don't give a damn about no grades no more because I'm popular.
It's that pull, that man, I'm
popular, and I'm just, yes, sir. And that really gets a hold of you. When you're trying to fit in, you're popular and you're known for something, you want to kind of hone in on that and kind of take it with its range. So I didn't care about making A's and B's no more. I did enough to pass, but I was focused on that camera. I needed to be where the footage is at and just capture that. And, I started to see myself as maybe I could be a director. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I just wanted to get the footage. And that's kind of what happened.
Fight or flight. Call Mike Jack, tell him get the tape right.
All right, so we here at the legendary, the Point, aka Parkland Point.
Damn, it's crazy.
Townhome apartments. This is a legendary space for the South Side and just for the Agg, for real. What do you remember about being here? You know what I'm saying? This was kind of the Mecca in a lot of ways.
Right, like this was just the cool spot, the chill spot. And it was safe. Like this was like a safe haven. Like if we ever had any kind of issues with like rival, like ops or whatever, and they following you, imagine you're driving and some folks are following you. What you want to do is get to the point.
You facts, You
want to get here and you already letting your people know that you on your way, and folks will just hop out, just to protect you.
Yeah.
Whether it is, to, fight, make them run off, have guns or whatever. So it's like folks that were like raised in this area, this was just a cool spot.
Yeah.
Folks would, party, play basketball, chill, listen to music, come together before heading out to a party. Man, this was just an iconic spot right here, most definitely.
No, facts. I remember the first time coming to the point, and this is where, they had that court. Obviously, for me, I'm just going anywhere that there's hooping. Coming over here hooping. But also, all the homies is here. Like you said, this is the Mecca. I lived in Rush Creek, and when they built Rush Creek, and we had the court, it went from here to that being the Mecca over there. So it was like, this is a real, a real special place, bro. So it was a story you was about to tell me before we turned on the camera.
So like one of my closest friends, growing up, I used to go to his crib, which was like right back over there, and I live right across the street on the other side.
Oh, there go the court right there.
Right, that's the court right over there.
Okay.
And so like I used to get my hard drive out of my, computer and ride my bike to his crib just to download music so I can, take it home and make mix CDs or chopped and screwed mixes. And he was just really close. But he ended up burglarizing my house one day.
The homie?
Yeah, the homie came to the crib.
Bro. Yeah, we gonna go that way to the court.
And burglarized, got me just like that. So like that had created like an internal beef because he did that, rightfully so. And I had let people know, and he was terrorized for some time. No matter where he went, folks would, put their hands on him. And it was unfortunate because like, I don't know. It was just something I recognized coming here that, damn, my homie did that. I don't know how he's doing. I don't know what he's doing now. I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is. But yeah, he lived right over here, over here. Yeah, I used to actually get on that roof and crawl and be able to, go in and out the window, all kind of stuff. Yeah. That's crazy. Look how they did the cage.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of places. This is why what they did at Cravens was so important, because there's a lot of places who have taken their goals down. Which once again, these are ways to stay out of the way, to go play basketball. And so you can get that right there, Nunez. Like, you see they done took the goal down, but
they snatched the goal, the rim, and there was a cage. This whole area was enclosed with the actual fence. So you could only get in by going around to that sidewalk to enter. And once you in, you lined up, you waiting for your turn to, play the next game. Folks was playing 21 games, and a lot happened in here. Even folks like Moses, would come and hoop right here.
Moses Ihambi, who's a coach now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So shout out to Big Mo. Yeah.
And that's where I got injured right there, right at the corner. I had, chased the ball. It was loose. I grabbed the ball and about 3 knees came to my back and kind of took me out just like that. And still to this day.
Real commitment.
I got this lower back pain that, damn, it's really, hurting you.
Yeah. The city is starting to go through this process of gentrification that's going on. It's starting closer to the entertainment district where all the stadiums are, but obviously, like we said, this place is more than just it's more than just some apartments, bro. There's culture here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah. How does it, like being here and this being such a central part of your story, like, what does this space just mean to you, bro?
I mean, it means a lot. I mean, it was kind of like a centralized area to get to different places. Folks would just be walking, from the opposite side, a sublet, come through here. We would hit a fence, go out, go into the next neighborhood, be with Flo and them and Christina. Folks would just walk to school from here. It was just fun. These are areas where folks would just, sit on the utility boxes.
Yeah, just, the big green boxes.
The big green boxes and just get the, rapping and just mingling. Folks would be getting free internet, rigging the cable system. But nah, it was nice. It was really nice. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Memories.
Yeah, it's memories for sure, bro.
Yeah.
It's a special place, man, and
And this is one of those places where, you speak of like, T-Mac and Giorgio, like we definitely was here all day, every day, and it was a significant space. You would just come here and just feel safe, feel at home, and just have fun, get ready to go out and have fun and party. This was just one of those spaces, and folks wanted to, be a part of this area. Me, I lived on the other side of the street, and that caused me to be district in Summit High School, which was literally like 100 yards. But if I stayed over here, I could go to Timberview. So for me, my senior year, I had finagled the system to use a different address to be able to go to Timberview, but I knew that if I got caught one day, I'm gonna get kicked out, and I did get kicked out. I did get caught, I had did some stuff in the pep rally they said I shouldn't do, and they did some research and found out somebody snitched that Mike Jack don't actually supposed to be here. And, they brought me to the office and they're like, yeah, we realize you don't actually live in this district. You got to go take your ass back to Summit High School. And I'm like, damn, because that was a pretty popping high school.
Yeah.
It was fresh. It was new. Technology was there. And it was just a really nice scene. And then I had to go to Summit. And then I ended up leaving to go to Seguin and graduated from there. But this was just one of those places like you wanted to kind of be involved because it gave you access to be around the boys, the girls, the folks that you kind of grew up with, because Timberview was new and they just drew the line, and now you're going to be, segregated and separated from folks that you want to actually be around.
Yeah.
But yeah, most definitely. That's how significant Parkland Point was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts, bro. Facts, bro. This whole street, man, 21 block.
Yes, sir.
It's special, bro. It's special.
Fight or flight. Call Mike Jack, tell him get the tape right. We back online, it's about to turn the demons out tonight. Pulled up for the hoes, now we on a different vibe. Wrote a check with your mouth, now you gotta pay the price. I'm all out of words, tell old buddy catch streets. Ain't no jumping in, it's one-on-one, you and me. Nigga think it's sweet, but I still give a 2-piece. If he wanna double back, they know exactly where we be.
Like, hearing that, obviously there's some nuances in the song that only us from the city are gonna catch.
Right.
But hearing that, 20 years later, it's crazy. Like, we old. Like, 20 years later, how does it feel hearing a song, that recounts, those times, bro?
Man, it feels nice. I mean, it brings back, happy thoughts. It brings back memories. Because, as you get older, people disperse. They go do their own thing. They build families. And they really just focus on what they're doing at that moment. But it kind of brings you back to when folks was really, enjoying the moment, enjoying that period in life where, there's friends, there's cliques, there's a lot happening. Folks are taking penitentiary chances without even recognizing that they actually can get there and how significant that is as an adult. But folks are really crashing out and they don't give a damn. Folks having short fuses, short tempers. Folks are toting guns and AKs and just trying to kind of make a name for themselves, and it's really not all that worth it. But, you can't really stop that freight train. That influence is so significant. It's powerful. It's potent. And you just have to just wish the best for the kids on the other side. Some folks are going to make it out. Some folks are not.
Yeah.
But, it's a stronghold. And hearing certain inserts, the 2-piece make a nigga fall.
Uppercuts and jabs to the jaw. Shout out to big homie, B-Ham.
Yes, sir.
D-Dash.
D-Hemp with that. That was an iconic phrase right there. And anyone that hears it from that era, they're going to recognize where that came from, what it means, and it's going to be associated with that fight tape.
Yeah.
So, that's really nice.
So one of, this was impactful for many reasons, but one of the most impactful things was 2-piece. That song, I just remember my freshman year, first day of school at Timberview.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that, like, people singing it in the hallways.
Damn.
Mind you, iPods are new. Like, people walking around with headphones. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
There's no phones. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like we got flip phones, but nobody's really playing music out loud.
Right.
This is just people walking through the hallway, singing Hamp's whole verse. They doing Norm's intro. Like people are doing this, and that I just remember falling in love with that song and John JT's verse and like just everything that was going on musically. Like what motivated you and Digi Norm just actually touched on this in the interview not too long ago. Like what made you be like, you know what? I'm gonna get some of the homies to add their music on here. Like what was your thought behind that?
Right. I mean, I never really associated myself like confirmed to be a part of any specific group.
Facts.
Any specific local clique. I was always one of those individuals that was just cool with everyone. So I can ebb and flow. I can hop from one, clique to the next and just, I'm respected in all these areas, but I never like was initiated into any specific clique. The law enforcement thought otherwise, but I was never part of the, PAC or Hollywood or, lynch mob or none of those things, but I was respected in all those areas just because I don't know why they accepted me.
You were you,
yeah.
Which they did the same for me. Because I hooped and I played with older people, like all the older homies. It was like a no.
Yeah.
In a respectful way, like nah, bro, you hoop.
Right.
We love you and we got you, but you the hooper.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You the hooper. And I'm assuming it was kind of a similar type thing. It's like, nah, that's Mike Jack. Like,
right. It's similar.
It's
similar when Mike Jack shows up, folks know he don't cuss, he don't drink, he don't smoke, but he can still be amongst.
Yeah. But not of.
Right. He can be amongst the squad, but let's respect him a little bit. He's not into none of that. He's different, but he's cool at the same time. So I never got into any personal fights.
Yeah.
I didn't fight not one person in high school, none of that. I was just likable. I was just cool, laid back, introverted, yet extroverted. I would dance, I would do my thing, have my camera, make money, hustle. And, I like to be in the mix and became popular for that. But I mean, it was really, a moment because Arlington is known also for the local talent.
Yeah.
Folks would make music in their homes. There's Fruity Loops. Folks would have studios and folks really latched on to like that art form, making music. And I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with a lot of the local artists and I wanted to support them in anyhow, whether it's trying to support someone managing someone or since I had that platform with the fight tape, I wanted to make sure that I kind of incorporated music into the transitions in between fights, and that was something that was really, a necessary thing that I wanted to incorporate into the fights was because who knows how far it went. And I wanted the world, as far as it got to, unfortunately, it was kind of, halted and chopped down with the law enforcement, but right. I wanted them to know how nice Arlington music is.
Yeah.
The beats are nice, folks are talented, lyrically, they're nice. And I kind of wanted to share that to the world. And with the platform that I had, for that moment, I wanted to kind of incorporate to kind of, expose the music scene that was in Arlington.
Yeah, you did that. It was really a launch pad. Like I said, I'm a product of that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I carry this city with, anybody who know me, they know how passionate I am about the Agg.
Right. That's what's up.
The way y'all carried it, and so I feel a duty to carry it in that same way. Bro, how were you able to mass produce this as a teenager? I don't know how many you sold. I just know our city, which is not a small city.
Right.
It's small in comparison to Dallas and Fort Worth, but it's still a top 25 size city
it's
in America.
300,000.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody everybody had one.
Yeah.
How were you able to mass produce and how did it break out of the walls of the Agg?
Right. I mean, I wasn't focused on school not too much at that moment. Like it was booming and banging. Like it ain't nothing wrong. So I wasn't really too focused on school. So I would kind of, At lunchtime, I'm going from Timberview to Seguin, or lunchtime I'm going to Summit. I'm just going to different schools. I'm going to Bowie, I'm going to Sam, and I'm just trying to I'm catching footage. I'm getting kicked out by security. I'm getting banned from all kind of places. I got banned from the mall just because. I got banned from restaurants. I got treated, in a certain way just because of the traction. But I mean, the demand was there, and I wanted to supply, wanted to make money at the same time. I mean, I'm a teenager, but I would invest in myself. I purchased DVD towers. At that moment in time, DVDs was a thing, and I purchased and each tower held seven DVDs that you can kind of produce, and I had two of them. I can't remember the cost of them, but I had two. Imagine two columns.
14
DVDs at a time, at a pop. And I can't remember how long it took to, copy and reproduce a tape, but I just kept on spitting out DVDs and tried to kind of match that demand. But I couldn't match that demand. I couldn't meet it. I couldn't meet it. My equipment got confiscated and the street still wanted that. So other folks.
Wait.
Yeah.
They got confiscated before the law enforcement really came down?
When the law enforcement came down, they confiscated it.
Okay.
But even before then, bootleggers did their thing with it, and I have no issue with it. What can I do? It's still market your stuff. So I would walk around, Big T, Bazaar, and I'd see my fight tape playing on the TV.
Way.
I'd see my fight tape, being marketed for folks to buy, and I'm like, damn, and they don't even know who I am. I'm the one that produced that footage, and it's my content. And instead of having an issue and starting a scene about it, I actually was flattered. I took it in a flattering position and damn, that's actually, because we all kind of use each other to be relevant, to kind of market our products. So I wasn't really just chasing money at that moment. I couldn't do too much about it. I'm a teenager. I just was like, damn, something that I just wanted to sell outside of my trunk of my car to just folks in the city. It's now in Dallas. I'm in Arlington.
And at this time, Big T ain't the same. At this time, Big T is once again, a real cultural hub. Every weekend, you just go to Big T just to go.
Yeah,
you don't gotta have $1 in your pocket. Just go to Big T.
Just go. Big T significant.
So that's crazy, bro.
So it was flattering, but it just let me know the extent to where my production had reached and the potential, and I was kind of just full-fledged. I wanted to kind of keep marketing, keep producing, keep recording, and I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. It was just, I thought I was like a storm catcher. I'm recording natural events, naturally occurring events. I couldn't do nothing about it. I'm just capturing it and creating a database. But that shit was crazy. Shit was crazy.
When the law enforcement came down, what was just that process like? As a teenager, I can't imagine the level of anxiety you having off of something you like, bro. I'm just a kid. We just having fun. What was that? What were the emotions like? Obviously for not just you, but your family as well. What was it like attempting to manage that type of, those feelings?
It was stressful. It was very surprising because I never thought I did anything wrong. I didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't do what other kids were doing. I never really shot a gun. I never did none of those things. So I was trying to stay straight because of my upbringing in the African family, but I wanted to be an entrepreneur with the footage. And when it came down, I was like, God damn, am I really being considered like a criminal for this stuff? What the hell? I mean, we would all do little petty crimes throughout the city just because, but this was the crux, this was the focus, this fight tape. And I think it was really easy for them to kind of pinpoint me because I was like a household name in the city. Way back in high school, I would dance in pep rallies.
Yeah, I remember.
I would be in pep rallies, with basically a dance team. and we would freak dance. We would do all kind of stuff. The crowd would go wild. So in my high school, and I kind of shared my time between Summit High School, Timberview High School, Juan Seguin, where I graduated. So those three high schools, I kind of shared my time between those three high schools. And, stuff like that, being in the pep rally scene where all the students are kind of like just in the bleachers, watching, and I'm dancing and I'm doing my thing and I'm acting freaky and I'm gyrating, I'm rolling my hips and stuff. And, I was kind of like a household name in the city. Yeah. So I recorded a fight that ended up, because I had over 100 fights at that moment. I'm just getting fights every week, whether it's at school or at a park or at a sporting event or at a nightclub.
Which was gonna go on whether you were there or not.
I'm a storm catcher.
Exactly.
It was gonna happen.
Exactly.
But I would get a tip, hey, so-and-so's finna fight so-and-so, at so-and-so, are you gonna be able to make it? So I would kind of have a log of where the fights were gonna happen for the week. Sierra's gonna fight so-and-so, this dude's gonna fight so-and-so at this park. And sometimes you gotta be cautious because it could be a setup.
Facts.
They could be trying to lure me to a certain place that can put me in danger. So I kind of have to use discretion. But a lot of them were real fights. I would get there, or I would have, a team of folks. I would have someone else act on my behalf to record footage, get it back to me. And whether it's Cravens Park or whatever the case is. So I would capture footage in all multitudes of ways that were definitely real, not staged or anything. I'm a teenager. I don't even have funds to pay people to cause them. So
nobody has that level of control and power
Right.
in high school to
Right.
do such a thing. That's just absurd
asinine.
to think. Like, what teenager got that? That's some that's crazy.
But coming from high school, I was popular. But whenever I recorded one specific footage, after 100 fights that I've recorded, one person got paralyzed from the neck down. I just captured the footage.
Right.
I recorded someone punching someone, and his head got cracked on the concrete.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Blood was gushing out. Folks were crying. But the person still woke up later on and went on about his business. So I'm thinking fighting isn't that dangerous.
Yeah,
at that moment.
Nothing like this had happened.
Right, nothing like this had happened. I'm thinking fights aren't that dangerous. It's just people doing their thing. But then I eventually recorded a fight where someone got jumped in their parking lot of their house. The house had a slope, and he got jumped, and he got hit in a way to where his body lifted, it dropped, and his head smashed on the concrete. And the aftermath of that was never produced on film, but this was after Agg Town Fights 2, as I was still recording footage. That individual got paralyzed from the neck down.
So this not the same one who had the bleeding out.
No. Two different instances.
Okay, got you.
The head bleeding on the concrete, that's Agg Town Fights 2.
Right.
After the fact, I'm trying to capture footage. And I was, introduced to a fight that was going to happen at someone's house. So me and my friends, Diak Bote, Flo, Ryan, the squad, we all was there, family members, to kind of record what was happening. Someone had an issue with their girlfriend or something. She was talking to another dude. So they was fighting about it, a typical fight.
Right.
And as someone was fighting, one of his friends jumped in and hit him. And he kind of injured himself by the way he hit the slope on the concrete, and it snapped his spine to where he was temporarily, from what I understood, to be paralyzed from the neck down. And I'm like, damn, I've never captured no footage like this. I know this is incriminating.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do as someone that has this evidence on camera in this moment? And that's what kind of smagarao kind of blew up the whole thing, because now family members want justice for their son, their grandchild that was injured.
Yeah.
And they know Mike Jack got it on camera. It's not too hard to find the footage. He was here. He recorded it. Mike Jack, he's a household name. He's popular. We can find him. His name is Michael Jackson.
There's 2 versions of this already out. Yeah.
You know, and go and get the footage so we can find out who jumped my son or my grandchild so we can get justice because he's paralyzed. Someone needs to help pay these hospital bills. And I'm like, damn, what the hell do I do? Do I incriminate?
Yeah, that's
Or do
crazy
I,
space
you
to
know, or do I act oblivious? And, you know, do I incriminate to stay free? So I'm just confused because I never wanted to be a hated person to see that I'm likable.
Yeah.
I'm able to, you know, mix and mingle with all crowds, but I know that this footage is going to incriminate someone to get locked up because this assault caused him to get paralyzed, and this footage as a slam dunk case. So that took place, and what I wanted to do was let me go back to this person's family's home to explain my involvement, to let them know I had no involvement. I'm just here to, you know, to record. Don't think that I had any hand in this. So I went back to the young kid's house and spoke to his mom. I knocked on the door and I was like, hey, I'm Michael Jackson. I recorded the footage, but just to let you know, I had no involvement because I know that this is like an ongoing case because they called the cops and they respected it, but they was like, but they want justice for their son. They want the names of the people who jumped their son. And I'm like, I can't tell you that. I just wanted to let you know my involvement, that I didn't set this up or anything. I'm just here to capture it. Don't think that I had anything to do with your son getting jumped. I just captured the footage. So I thought I was straight. And then bam, that's when the swarm of law enforcement came to my mom's house because my name was, you know, provided as someone that has the evidence to convict and expose the ones who, you know, did this assault. And I couldn't do nothing at that moment besides, you know, sit back. They had a warrant. So that means they already had authorization from the higher ups to go in with the evidence they had to get my DVD towers, all my camcorders, anything that can harbor footage, media. They took that. And I had no equipment anymore, so I couldn't record fights no more. But I was pompous, you know. I was like the Kanye West. You couldn't tell me shit. I'm popular. I'm this and that.
As most teenagers would do at that time.
I talk to myself in third person.
Facts.
Mike Jack gonna do this. You can't woo to Mike Jack. I spoke in the third person.
Yeah.
Like my ego was inflated at that moment. And that's how I talked to law enforcement in those days because I thought I was innocent. Like, this is a slam dunk. What are you harassing me for? You're gonna find the footage. It's on my computer. I can help you find it. Why do you need to take all this equipment? They said, let us do our job, blah, blah, blah. And 3 months later, they told me that, they found what they were looking for, the fight that I recorded. And I was like, yeah, bring my stuff, back home. I'm ready to get back to work, not knowing they was coming to make sure I was home to make sure they can now arrest me because they've created charges. And I'm like, damn, you finna arrest me? The storm catcher, the natural event, I'm just recording, natural occurring events. And they had just conspired and just created a whole situation out of that. Yeah.
I always say, bro, when we, anytime I'm talking to people and, Agg Town Fights gets brought up, I always say, if Mike Jack would have been white, they would have sent him to film school.
Yeah.
They would have sent you to film school. But because you was black, you were an entrepreneur, you obviously showed promise. They did what they did. But going to that process, doing the court stuff, like, how are you feeling, in those moments where you like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna get up out of here. I know I didn't do anything wrong, but obviously, my sister right now is working on her first feature film, and it's about how the government falsely imprisons people. Somebody has to take blame, and so you look like the easiest one. We can build a case against. My sister did 2 years for something she didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like with the feds, like she beat the feds. And so I've been in that with a family member, but being in a situation where like, bruh, how did you manage that? How did you deal with that? How did you walk through that?
Yeah, I mean, initially, I'm thinking justice will be served. Mm-hmm. And justice means that what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, the truth will prevail, If you had no involvement, you'll be vindicated. So I'm trusting the system. I'm trusting the process, even though I'm getting charged with these heinous crimes, 1st-degree felonies. I'm thinking there's no way in hell I'm going to jail for this because I didn't do nothing. That's my thought process. But as time went on, I'm starting to recognize there's different influences that can cause you to still get locked up for something that you actually didn't do. And people don't give a damn. They just need that conviction rate.
Yeah.
They need that conviction rate to be able to market that.
So was this state or was this Fed?
This was state.
Okay.
Yeah, Tarrant County. This was definitely state. But I mean, I was pompous. I mean, I thought, everything's gonna prevail. I ain't do nothing. Organized crime. I didn't organize no damn crime. I didn't stage nothing. There's nothing to worry about. But you soon start to, and I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
And no one could tell me nothing. I had all the answers. Like Kanye West once again. You don't know a goddamn thing. I got the answers. Listen to me. So I'm selecting my lawyer. I'm doing my research. I'm making legal decisions that my lawyer suggests just because, not knowing that it could be an alley-oop for the DA to slam dunk, to hang me.
To keep that conviction right.
I'm not even sure what I'm doing. I'm just doing my best as a teenager. And so that moment was really stressful. I couldn't go nowhere. I go to church. I go to Cornerstone. There's cameras following me. I can't even go to church. I go to the mall. They're kicking me out. Hey, you're the dude that was on the news about this fight situation. You got to get up out of here. I go to Razoo's trying to eat some food. The business owner, I'm sorry, we saw your situation on the news. You got to leave. You're bad news.
That's crazy.
You got to get up out of here. I'm getting kicked out of different functions.
As a teenager.
Businesses, as a teenager, supposed to come into the house, the news station, recording stuff. They're getting responses from me, but they're only publishing the insert that makes me sound incriminating. So I'm starting to learn a lot more about this world and media and what they really care about. It's not really about the truth and vindicating someone. It's just, it's all clickbait, what can just get reactions and stuff. And I'm like, damn, I need to just shut my ass up. Don't talk no more. And then it became real. I ended up getting a 12-year sentence, and I was like, what the hell? This African kid raised in a household, everyone's doing well, chasing, academia. And then there's me ending up with a 12-year sentence out of nowhere because parole lawyer, I think her name was Lawyer Redmond, I think Pimp C used them or something. And I was like, oh, that's a good parole attorney. Didn't do nothing. I still got set off 4 times in a row. Every year I came up for parole, denied. Next year, denied. Next year, denied. Next year, denied. And I was kind of giving up. I'm like, damn, am I going to have to do this whole 12 years? Then right when I stopped blaming others, I was released.
Do you think that that's one of those moments where it's divine? It's like, God is like, I just need you to get this one lesson and then I got you. Do you think it was one of those type of things? It's like, it's the Israelites in the wilderness for 40 years. This was really like a couple day trip. A 10-day trip turned into 40 years because of like a mindset. They kept the Egypt mindset when God was trying to take them to the promised land.
Yeah.
That 10 days was a process, was supposed to be a quick process. But because they had the wrong mindset, it ended up being 40 years of wandering.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was the same type of thing where it was like, God, I just need your mindset to get right.
Yeah.
And then I got you.
Most definitely. Because once again, I wasn't listening to nobody. I was hard to deal with. I spoke to myself in third person and I was just unbearable. I mean, I had sexual encounters with over 100 women still in high school just because of the popularity, and like nothing could really stop me. Nothing was really gonna sink in to change the course because what I was doing was in the avenue of something that could be considered negative. So I feel like, I had to be sat down for me to make those changes mentally on my own. because advice didn't mean anything. You have to be sat down for a significant amount of time when you're that far off for you to make and want different for yourself. And that's the only thing that could have made the difference. And once I understood what was happening spiritually, I've just been favored nonstop.
Yeah, I was gonna come back to
Nonstop,
that statement
yeah.
you said at the beginning, bro. You led with that, and that can only come from somebody who has been on the other side of when God does this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I know what that is.
Yeah.
Like from just in my marriage and not stewarding my marriage the way I was supposed to. I was young, nobody could tell me nothing. I got married at 20, and God was like, and pulled the hand off. And you know, I go through a process of dying to self that once that process was done, it's like, okay, boom. You know, now we can get to where we supposed to be going.
Right.
You know, and so man, I just like you are an example of God's favor in the good and in the bad, you know, and just God's faithfulness through it all. How much did your faith play a role? Like, obviously we see the shirt, like, yes, I do believe in God.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? But that's something you grew up in, and obviously you maintain those morals in some, you know, capacity during your youth as well. How much did that play a factor, like, in just that whole process?
Yeah.
In that, you know, in that 5-6 year process?
It played a factor. I mean, I went to church twice a week, every Wednesday, at least twice a week, sometimes 3. Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays, I was in the church. Halloween, I'm in church. New Year's, I'm in church. So that made an impact. I didn't really like it as a kid because I'm like, oh, my friends are able to do this and have fun. But in the household, it's like, it's improper. It's not right. You know, just understand. I wasn't trying to understand, but it does make a difference. So faith started off young for me, and being inundated in that community, you know, twice and thrice a week. And I mean, even when I was locked up, even when I was in prison, I damn near had no fights. For the 5-6 years I spent in prison, that's like, you know, unheard of.
Yeah, no, facts, for sure.
No fights. I had one.
Were you what level were you
So when I was in the county, there was no fights. I was there for 2 years almost. I was there for like 11 months in the county. Then I went to prison. Then there's transfer facilities. I was there for a couple years, and that's when I had my first fight. And then I actually hit a actual, you know, prison facility, like a maximum facility. I was at the Cofield unit. I think there's like 5,000 inmates. And but my upbringing really made the difference. I didn't have any fights. I didn't want to get cases. And I didn't want to serve inmates. I wanted to focus on my parents, my siblings coming to see me. Every week, someone would see me. Every week, someone would send a letter. Every month, someone would visit, you know. And I wanted to maintain that and be loyal to my actual family versus being persuaded by the inmates.
The environment once again.
Yeah, like you need to choose a side. Are you going to be a blood or a Crip? Like, are you going to, you know, keep trying to eat food with your celly? He's a Mexican and we don't do that. And I'm just like, God damn.
Which people don't understand how difficult that is to do.
No, they don't understand it.
But you, in a way, almost had that training already based on what was going on outside in the city. You never picked a side. You were
I never goddamn picked a side.
Yeah, you were
I was just me. And I wanted to maintain that. And because the family structure, they showed up, they sent money, I had commissary, you know, it made a difference, and I wanted to keep them proud. I never wanted them to try and visit and realize, oh, I can't visit my brother or my son because he crashed out and had a fight, so now he's in aggravated segregation and we can't see him. Mm-hmm. So every time there was a confrontation, you got it, you right, okay, that's, you know, so I never wanted to escalate situations. I wanted to de-escalate I did not want to become, so institutionalized and wanted to kind of fit in and actually care what prison folks thought of. I wanted to still maintain who I was, and my family made a big difference. So I would de-escalate fights, de-escalate situations, and didn't have cases. And because of that, I was only in general population for about a year. Once I was showing that I was different in a sense, for a year I was able to request to be a trustee. So when I became a trustee after a year in actual prison life, and I was privileged. I got sent to a trustee camp. There's only about 300 to 500 selected inmates that get
Favorite.
that. Yeah,
Favorite.
I was favored in a sense. And now I don't have any bars. I have multiple TVs in the day room. I get to play softball, basketball, all the different sports. We have like domesticated deers and cats, and we're getting to pet animals. We have actual jobs. We're working at the garden, riding on tractors, cleaning up the rodeos, building soccer fields, building sidewalks. We have actual jobs, working at the hog barn where there's chickens and eggs and there's hogs and there's pigs, and folks are, getting certificates to drive CDLs and haul off this product. Like, this was now my life, and nobody in this facility wanted to jeopardize that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now I'm actually amongst my people that want to think twice and thrice before they make a mistake. Yeah. But I had to prove myself first in the more dire situation, in the treacherous environment of actual population of an aggravated unit like Cofield in general population, and I didn't have any issues. I was promoted in a sense to a trustee camp, but that's where I spent the rest of my, experience there, and I was privileged. My visitations are out in the grass, at a bench. Family gets to hug me. Yeah, so I didn't get to experience the, experience that most people see on TV at a prison. Yeah. I was different. From when I stepped in. The tattoos that I got was all within confined spaces underneath my t-shirt, whether it's on my stomach or it's on my chest or it's, on my back arms. It all was in this area. I never came out to my neck, never came out to my hands, never came out to my face, never did all, because I was thoughtful. I still wanted the tattoo experience, but I was mindful of my parents and future job prospects and sitting in front of an interviewer and trying to market myself, but they're distracted because he got these tattoos on his face and neck. And so I was still mindful, the entire time. Yeah. And then when I got out, when I finally changed my mindset to actually stop blaming others and took accountability that I'm here for a reason. What do you need me to learn? What do you need me to, take heed to? What direction? And then bam, after that, like, it was a wrap. Yeah. It was a phase shift, and it was an inflection point in my life, and I never looked back. Now when I, if I'm in a grocery store and I see someone stealing, I'm gonna give that little boy some money. Don't steal. Yeah. Put that back. See, you do not want to get caught. You do not want to go down that rabbit hole.
And I told you when I wanted to, do this sit down, because this is our second time, Lincoln. I caught you by chance once again when you came a couple years ago and was like, bro, you're in the city, pull up. I want to play you the album, And so for whatever, I don't know how, we lost that footage, but, so I was like, bro, we got to do it again. And I told you, I said, this conversation is going to be so important. I work with students and I work with kids, and I see the similarities of like what was going on in the city at the time, when we were teenagers, and the things that they do is so elevated as far as like what was just a fight for us. They're willing to like take somebody's life.
Right. That's crazy.
As a 15, 16, 17-year-old. And so, this album sat on the shelf for a minute because I was like, God, what's the purpose of this? Like, I'm telling these stories and it's, it's cool, whatever, but like, what is the real purpose behind it? And when I got back into the classroom and I started having these interactions with students, I'm like, oh, they need a cautionary tale that speaks to them and where they're from. Yeah. There's many of Los Angeles albums. There's many of LA albums. But we don't have one for where we're from. You know, we
Okay.
don't have a cautionary tale, a good kid, mad city for our city. And so I wanted to create something to show people how I navigated, you know, because everybody around me got into their stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, the thing that kept me grounded was the fact, like, I want to play basketball. I want to go to the league. That was
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
so I was like Jesus Shuttlesworth and Trey from Boys in the Hood. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? That was me. And so I told you that this interview is going to be impactful because of what you have made of your life. Like you said, you took accountability and the gates opened up for you and you came home and you've hit the ground running since then.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about like where you are now and what you accomplished when you came, you know, since you've been home.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it wasn't easy because still there's a transition period of leaving prison. You've been there for a while, so you're kind of institutionalized for a little bit. So yeah, I got out. I'm still wearing, you know, tall tees. I'm still sagging my pants and stuff. And I thought that was normal still.
What year
You
did
know?
you come out? What year did you come?
I went in like 2007. I got out in 2012.
You went in 2007?
Yeah, I got out in like 2012, May. And I'm like, you know, I don't know what I want to do. I know I want to make over six figures. Because to me, I still kind of in the back of my mind, I'm like, I want to stick it to the people who wanted to see me fail. And who are those people? I don't really know. If it's, you know,
That is they.
it's they.
Whoever they is, it was them.
Whoever they is.
Yeah.
And whoever they is, they probably don't want to see me having a strong credit profile. They don't want to see me with, you know, strong educational, you know, accomplishments. They don't want to see me with, you know, properties and acquiring things and accomplishing things. So like whoever they are, I'm going to do this for you, you know, to bring shame upon you, which inadvertently also is a positive to myself because I get to now attract those kind of people in my life that I want to be around and surround myself with. And I'm going to be not only brilliantly mentally, but I have accomplished things that can show that I did spend time to kind of, you know, expose the actual brilliance within me. So when I got out, I mean, I was sagging and stuff. I wanted to just go to the oil fields and make some money quick and just invest into like production again and start directing or
So
something.
you did want to go back into
I
film.
did kind of wanted to, but I wanted to kind of like redirect it from fights to like maybe, you know, film, like short film or music videos or something, because I feel like that was my talent. Even when I was locked up, I wrote music. I have a whole booklet of like over 60 different songs, like actual rap songs and R&B, like writing and stuff. And the prison friends in the moment, associates, wanted me to get out and pursue that because they wanted to hear the music. But my family, when I got out, they was like, nah, hell nah. Like you're actually like talented, you're brilliant, you're smart. You just never had the opportunity to apply yourself because you was always on the go. Every weekend you're at a club, you're at this, that, recording fights. You know, now's the opportunity to tap back into education and see what you can do because you always made decent grades even though you was busy. And I'm like, you know what? Damn, do I have to? And my family was like, we'll cut your ass off. If you don't listen to us, we will cut your ass off.
Right.
We're telling you, just go to school, figure something out. We'll buy you a cell phone. We'll get you some clothes. We'll give you a roof to stay in. So you don't have to worry about those things that makes it difficult to focus and pursue something like education. Just apply yourself.
Was your family still in Arlington or had they moved somewhere?
No, there's still not, like half is, like most is in Arlington still. My sister went to Tyler. She's about to be in Houston. So I started off, I came out and I'm like, all right, I guess. I got this thick ass booklet of just music. I'm like, I'm supposed to drop this song, you know, Monopoly and I'm supposed to drop, you know, Smash My Guitar. Like I had songs that I wanted to kind of drop as like smash hits. I had thought of like the music, the like shows, what it looks like, buying like wooden guitars and smashing it on stage and stuff. And
Yeah.
but I thought that it would be more impactful if I just focused as a Black individual who could make an impact to the youth in the inner city. Let me try and focus on the brilliant side, my academic side, since I never really got to tap into that. My peers are all older now. They have like families and stuff. So no one's calling me like, hey, show up at this club, whatever, come record this. So I just went into community college and just wanted to get an associate's and see what my GPA could be. And before I actually got locked up, I had a 1.7 GPA. My shit was low. And I had that from, I think it's TCC, Tarrant County Community College. And I was like, damn, that's not good. And I just went to school and I started getting A's, and that became like my high.
Yeah.
I only wanted A's now. No partying, no clubs, no friends. All I want is to read books, read my goddamn books, my textbooks, and make A's. And that's what I started doing. It was like sex to me. Getting an A, the anticipation of getting an A was like ejaculating, was like sex. So I didn't want to do nothing else. I cut off sports, no more watching the footballs on Sundays, none of that. I looked at all that as inhibitors for me to, as a felon, to one day potentially get an engineering job or something. And I didn't know what to do, but I ended up doing research. What can a felon do? Okay, I can't work with medicine. I can't become a doctor. I can't become a lawyer. I can't become a politician.
Really?
Right. You got a felony. You need a you have to be certified, get, actual like certifications, and those boards won't, give it to you because you have a felony on your record as a lawyer, as a doctor and stuff. So I was like, okay, what is this thing called engineering? Oh, it's one of the most difficult courses. Only 30% of folks, graduate as a freshman. It's hard. And I'm like, it's a big boy degree, but you make six figures. And I'm like, what different types of engineers are there? Okay, there's civil, there's chemical, there's mechanical, there's structural, there's electrical, there's, software. And I was like, okay, which ones can I not be? I don't want to deal with medicine. I don't want to deal with things like chemical. So let me think about, mechanical. I've always liked to work with my hands and tinker with stuff.
Going back to breaking computers down and all that stuff. Yeah.
So I was like, let me chase mechanical. But no, I'm in Texas, and there's a thing called petroleum engineering, oil, extracted oil from the subsurface. Let me focus on that. So I kind of focused on petroleum because I'm like, okay, if I fail at that because no one wants to hire me, I'll just start off as a roughneck working at an oil rig. And once they see that there's no real threat, because I have a felony, then hey, I actually have a bachelor's. I'm a petroleum engineer. That was the thought process. No one's ever done this before.
Even like, bro, it is so crazy how everything from your past, it's all sick. And that's how God works, bro.
Yeah.
It be so cyclical. All the information that you need about your purpose and where you're supposed to be going, it all comes back to like those things that you were just doing out of love, out of curiosity. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, that's fire.
Got 33 minutes left on the camp.
Yeah, I got one more question.
Yeah, and also, I ended up basically.
Hold on. Are we good? Are we still recording? Oh, okay. Go.
Yeah, so I went from just taking general classes to trying to get into the University of Houston to be a petroleum engineer. And I did. My first 2 semesters, I made 4.0 GPAs.
Come on, bro.
No one knew that this is a felon making a 4.0, getting these A's. I cut everything out, no parties, no friends, no sports, no nothing. Just focused on just trying to get this degree. And then I started getting scholarships, $5,000 scholarships, $12,000 scholarships. My story was crazy, submitting these scholarship applications. I just started getting recognized, and things were just was just easy for me to attain. And that's the favor. Everything started was just easy for me at the moment. I'm doing well. I'm being recognized. My circle of folks, I have Nigerian folks. They're chasing businesses and A's and Asian folks and folks are just hustling. We all get to glean from each other. And I was a junior in petroleum engineering. I switched to mechanical because I was like, I don't want to just be pigeonholed to be so stuck with petroleum. I want to be able to market myself externally. So I switched to mechanical as a junior. So it set me back a year, but I didn't really care. I ended up with 5 like internships before I graduated from like Fortune 500 companies like Chevron and stuff. And yeah, like it was just, that's really what set me up to be able to succeed. All those internships let companies know that we really don't have that same risk profile that we thought because someone has a felony. He's proven himself. He's overshadowed his felony conviction with 6 years of schooling, engineering schooling.
In excellence.
In excellence. I graduated after 6 years with a 3.48 GPA in engineering. I was talking to my friend the other day and he said, what the hell? I graduated with a 2.45. How the hell did you do that? And with an extra, year or two. So I did that, did it well. And I ended up with so many offers. My last semester, I had 22 job interviews. I would chase companies, go to, this engineering conference, that engineering conference. I would pay for these,
You invested. So once
events.
again, bro,
Yeah.
we're going back to exactly what you was doing as
Investing
a
in
kid,
myself.
bro.
Yep, yeah.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Like applying yourself in these obsessive ways, which greatness is obsession.
Yeah.
And so it's I think, bruh, just from hearing your story and just seeing, like, for one, obviously God has his hand on your life and has had his hand on your life through it all. But two is like the purpose is it's in the details, bro. It's in the things that we think are minuscule, like mechanical engineering. But you were doing that already as a boy, taking apart computers, trying to figure it out, and then going back to, okay, how am I gonna market myself? Okay, I'm gonna do it in excellence. That's the same way you applied yourself with making the tapes in the first place.
That's right.
With saying I want to make quality. I want to put out excellent quality, bro. And so I think for people to ingest this is just like, this is a story of God's favor and resilience and purpose, bro.
Yeah. Save my soul.
I wanted to bring us to a place that is probably most synonymous with that time period. And that's the McDonald's right here off of Sublet and Matlock.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Where probably the most iconic scene that was on the fight tape happened, How does it feel to just be back here? Obviously, it looks completely different.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back up in here?
I mean, it's nostalgic, but it feels good. I mean, one thing I notice is folks are having a good time. Folks are getting some food to eat, and it looks like they're safe, which is important. But at the same time, it's like, damn, we was tripping because back in the day when we kind of frequented this spot, it wasn't that safe.
It wasn't,
It wasn't safe at all. Like, this was a place we would congregate. Yeah. We would meet up before we head out, to the next function. And, it kind of got dangerous. Folks is outside running across the street, is shooting across the street. And you wouldn't even think in a city like this that stuff like that happens. So now that I'm here, I feel like, damn, earlier, like just literally across the street, it was nighttime, like 9 p.m. Me and some close friends pulled up, to witness and partake in the fight. And it probably was UTG that we pulled up on. And I was just recording once again. And they had us running because they pulled out a 12-gauge shotgun and started shooting. And we got back to my mom's crib having to pull out buckshots out of our skin, and it was crazy. So it kind of let us know that, like, damn, it's dangerous out here. It ain't really just swinging and fighting no more. So we got to be careful. And so to be alive on the other side, it's just humbling. It's humbling because anybody can kill. It takes a couple pounds of pressure. And
that couple pounds of pressure, bro, to change everything. And that's so. And it was. you know, you talk about nature versus nurture, right? The environment's pull versus like maybe the pull of your house or, you know, whatever. And if you didn't have something that was stronger than the pull of outside, it was inevitable that you would get caught up in, you know, because there's fame that comes with that. Like I say a line in the song Fight Tape, I gotta bleed them for respect.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what it costs when you talk out your neck. This is what it costs when you ride for the set. Like, this is what it is. Like, if I want a name, there's something I have to do to get that name. And I got a homie, and I won't say his name on cam until I'm able to sit with him and we'll talk about it. But we were freshmen together. And I remember us coming into high school and both of us were kind of like stars in what we did, right? So I was the star, like young freshman. I was the first freshman to play varsity at Timothy, and then he was like the star freshman gang member, like for real, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he like had legendary moments of like just standing on business, standing his ground, doing you know, doing his stuff. And I remember he was just as talented athletically. But that pool was so strong, bro. It was so strong outside. And I remember weekend one of us being in school, like, you know, first day of school is this riots, this fights, it's all this stuff. And I remember that first weekend, like I went off to a tournament and bro went off to the functions and he came back and he had a legit name and he couldn't do anything no more in the city without there being like, I was just like, oh, this is crazy. Like it had got to that point where like there, you know, if you had, and you know, you had a name. So it was like, you couldn't go places without everybody knowing. Your face was like, that was real popular. That's not internet popularity. That was real like.
Yeah, like I was mentioning on my way up here when I would just see certain iconic places, it was like, damn, you know, when things got hot with the case and everything, I couldn't even go to church. There's cameras following me in there. I'm getting kicked out of spots. And then it was crazy. I'm waking up just to leave the day, leaving the house, and it's cameras across the street just to capture where I'm going. And I'm like, damn, I'm just a teenager. What the hell is going on? Folks is following me, and that fame was overwhelming. And, you know, it was crazy because who would have thought it would have ended up, you know, getting to that magnitude just from just folks capturing footage in their city. That's about it. And now that I look back, it's like I would think that there was nothing wrong with it, but it really did cause folks to want to engage in criminal activities so I can capture it.
Because of the fame, that pool.
Right, because of the fight tape. Folks want to try and get on the fight tape now. I even had folks threatening me like, hey, bro, like, I better get on that fight tape. And I'm like, damn, like, what's going on? So folks wanted me to come and capture footage so that they could get on the next series, on the next volume. And I'm like, what's going on? It's supposed to be, you know, but like, it became a thing, and that could cause folks to want, you know, to misbehave because they're trying to get on the fight tape, which is negative stuff. So it's crazy. The influence. Like it was lit and it was crazy. It wasn't safe though. It wasn't safe.
You know, it's funny. Tom gives you two things: perspective, and it facilitates change, right? So, you know, after talking through your whole journey and then coming back to a place like this, where is your perspective at with just everything that you've endured, and also like where you want to see our city progress, you know, our youth progress, especially in the state of everything that they dealing with nowadays, you know? That was the beginning of the internet days. Now it's like they literally live on the internet, you know? So what do you think, bro?
I mean, now that I'm older, but it's like, it's all about just positive influence. You know, it gets to a point, you get to a certain stage in life and you're like, damn, I just want to impact, you know, the community in a positive way. So that's where my mind is at. And that's kind of what I want for everyone. I mean, I would intentionally do things to try to represent the Black race in a positive light. Once I got released, it was like, I know that there's stereotypes, and I know that a lot of them are true sometimes when we're talking
we
about.
Playing to them.
When it comes to the inner city, but it's just, you know, circumstantial because of our community and our environment, and it's just what we did. We didn't really see too much, you know, wrong with it. And But as you get older, you're like, damn, like I want to make a difference in a positive way. You reach a certain age and you're like, damn, I made it out alive in a
Yeah,
sense, past a certain stage, and you're like, damn. So I got to a point where I wanted to intentionally do things that if someone looked at me, they're like, damn, that's a stand-up guy. Like, that's a stand-up guy right there. That's a stand-up dude. And I can tell he's doing well and he represents blackness, you know,
Yeah.
African ancestry.
And
And
excellence.
yeah, most definitely. Because the thing is, we're all brilliant in a way. We just need to channel it, recognize it, you know, not lean into different imposter syndromes,
That's real.
and really just get out here and do our thing. I would have never thought someone that I barely graduated high school, you know, because I was so focused running the streets. I graduated in the summertime, so I didn't even walk across the stage. I had my diploma, you know, mailed to me. So I didn't really have the book smarts, but I still told myself, you know, if someone else could become an engineer with one brain and I got one brain, then what's the real difference? There's not really much of a difference. Just
Right.
believe in yourself, you're brilliant, and get out there and do that. So that's what I did. I mean, it was hard, but it was worth it.
Yeah, yeah, bro, that's so powerful, man. And I think you do represent that. You know, I love seeing, you know, just being connected to people who carry this resilience and this belief in themselves, because it does make you believe in yourself.
Yeah,
It makes
yeah,
you be like, like if they did it and we from the same place, I most definitely
Yeah.
can do it. You know,
Yeah.
and that's how I felt. You know, just watching what y'all were creating at that time, I was
Yeah.
like, man, they got music. Like I remember, you know, JT's little brother, he had a CD of all their music.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, we freshmen and we in class together, and he brought the CD. I took this, I said, bro, I gotta get this.
Yeah, I gotta
Because the
get
fact that people who were from where we from were making music and like it was tangible, we could
Yeah,
touch it.
yeah.
It was like, we wasn't tripping on where the quality was at that time. It's just like, bro, somebody's doing this thing. And that was so inspiring. You know, do you think that because of the amount of fame that you attracted then, is that why you've kept such a low profile? Like for so long, like
Right.
people were like, and you know, where's Mike Jack? Where's
Yeah.
Mike Jack? Like I was telling you yesterday off cam, so many people say your name in interviews.
Yeah.
And they like, oh bro, we gotta find Mike Jack. Where's Mike
Yeah,
Jack?
yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
did the
yeah,
interview, you know. And so that's why I was like so honored that you know, you chose me to share your story with. But is that why you've kept such a low profile? It was just like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
it's
It was too
definitely-
much as a teenager. Like, let me just,
It was a lot as a teenager. And like, believe it or not, even though I was, you know, outside and always in the mix, you know, I'm in a pep rally, you know, dancing in front of the whole school. And, but really I'm like, I like to be low key in my own space, introverted, you know, to a sense. So like, but really the reason why my profile been so low is because I'm doing a lot of positive stuff in this world that I don't want nothing to taint that, nothing to really affect that brand. You know, that image is important to me. You know, the things I'm involved in, where I work and stuff like that. Like I'd be on social media and see folks talking about certain things and they're like, where's Mike Jack? Where's Mike Jack? And I'm just laughing. I'm in the comments and I'm just laughing. I'll just disappear. And they're like, oh damn, so there he is. You know, that was him. And I'm just laughing.
I had to
just-
do real research like back in, you know, a couple years ago to find. I'm like, bro, where is?
Right,
I had to do my
yeah.
Instagram investigation.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
change my name on social
Yeah,
media.
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that was-
Like, I did not want no one to find
bro,
me.
it took. I had to like, all right, who was his
Yeah.
closest homies? Like, I was like doing the
Right.
research because I just, for one,
Yeah.
you know, this album isn't just my story. It's our city story, and then there's people story in there as well. It's, you know, part of your story, and Hamp and T-Mac's story, who no longer with. It's
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who's
yeah,
not
yeah.
here with us no more, whose stories are embedded in this album. And so,
Big shout out to Giorgio. He ain't
shout out
with
to
us no
Giorgio,
more,
man. Rest in
but he
peace.
was an
Rest in
icon
peace to
for
Boss,
real.
man.
You know, he was immensely loved, you know, by the masses.
Bro, he was the coolest
Oh,
dude,
man,
man.
cool.
He was the
Cool,
coolest dude.
cool.
Let's do that. Let's
Yeah,
talk about some of like these iconic people who a lot are still with us, some are gone. But you know, let's talk about, you know, Giorgio, who I remember. Once again, I'm younger, so I remember meeting him with our book.
Okay.
you know, and I just like, bruh, they was to me like just cool, bruh. Like he was just
cool.
real player,
Right.
player.
Real player. I mean, it's like, and then it's unfortunate because like the environment and your influence. I think he was really involved in like the Fort Worth scene, but he was just such a cool person. I mean, he would laugh, he would dance, he would fight. Actually, he's not even trying to shoot nobody. He just relaxed. He had a family, and and every time I saw him, he was like, "Hey, Mike Jack, do a dance move. I done told my homeboy about you. Do that move you did that one day." And I'm like, "Chill, I ain't trying to dance right now." I remember when I got locked up, I was in the county, and I saw Giorgio, and he was like, "Hey, Mike Jack, I told them about you. Do that dance." I'm like, "I'm not trying to dance in jail.
Not in here.
I ain't trying to dance." He's like, "Man, come on, man." So he was just that kind of guy. Like, he was well respected, in all areas. And man, we miss him a lot.
Yeah.
Women, men, everyone just loved him.
He was a great dad, bro.
Infectious. He would just bring smiles to folks' faces. Great dad too. So that was a big blow.
Yeah.
A big blow.
What do you remember about T-Mac? Because once again, it was the same thing. I got a lot of love. Big Finch is kind of was like my G homie in a way. I would be hooping with Lil Finch. But Big Fish kind of really was like, nah, this little bro, and so that was kind of my introduction to the whole.
Man, it's similar too. T-Mac is real similar to like a Georgia. He was a love. These folks,
funny as hell.
These are big blows when you lose folks like that, man. He would be funny. He would just be in the mix and just laid back, and wasn't afraid to fight. And at the same time, like, he was just cool, just play it laid back, and everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. So, and it's real similar. I think about it. T-Mac, Georgia, all them folks, they were just loved immensely.
They were, bro. Yeah. I want to show you something, and we'll clip it in here.
Okay.
But I want to show you this, and just tell me how you feel seeing and hearing this. Let me find it real quick, bro.
Yeah.
Because this, I think, is one of the most prized possessions that I think we have on the internet of somebody during that time. And so just tell me how you feel watching this.
PAC is going to be a movement. When boys, you see that shit? That shit just like, whoa, all the time, my nigga. It's Deuce 100 G's. You know what I'm saying? It's PAC boys. You know what I'm saying? That's players at the cash. And our niggas are all blessed by God.
He's in the back.
Nah, it didn't look like him.
Okay.
Oh, it might be Alafus, yeah. That might be Alafus.
Okay.
But when you see that and you hear him say, this players after cash, this Deuce 100Z, and all my niggas is blessed by God. That's how I end the album with T-Mac's voice saying that.
All my niggas is blessed by God. Yeah, I mean, one thing you can recognize is folks really loved, their friends. They was really kind of just in tune, and they would ride for their people. And that's really what that also, embodies is there's like brotherhoods, there's, families created that aren't even immediate. And, folks will be there to support and ride or die all the way to the end, and unfortunately sometimes that happens, but even all the way to the end, they're supporting and they're representing, something that they believe in, and it's, fellowship, it's brotherhood, and it's not really all about the negative and the gang. It's really just, family. When you talk about PAT and stuff like that, people are coming together doing some positive stuff. Folks aren't running around, causing mischief. No, it's just, it's just another family.
Yeah, and another, JT, I have his voice on the album as well. He says something, when PAC, when they focused on making the transition, he says, we started off as a clique, but it's a way of life.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, that hit me so much to the core, because you look at what everybody who was a part of that thing is doing now, and there's so much positivity that's been birthed from, PAC, whether you talk about Big Finch and what he's doing in agriculture, bro. This man is on the internet showing us how to grow fruit, bro, and, be self-sufficient, from what JT is doing to what, somebody like EJ is doing. And what he turned from throwing parties that was where all the cliques would be at, to now they went to starting High Life,
to becoming the premier, you know, promotional company in the city for the clubs to now turning into real estate and management and the music. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's like it
Big
really
boy
has
construction,
become construction, big boy moves.
Developments, yeah.
Development.
Developments. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's really turned into a way of life, bro. Players after cash and that. Like, it's just beautiful to see, bro. It's beautiful to see.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
Yeah.
I love to see it. I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
I don't have not one hater bone in my body. I want everybody to eat and win. And you know, if anyone needs some, you know, input, insight, I'm here to give it. God damn it.
Yeah.
You know, we all can work together and make some splash.
Yeah, that's that part.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, shoot, I think that's a good space to, you know, to leave it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, players at the cash, Southside forever,
Yes, sir.
Agg Town. Like, we here, you see it. You know, the legendary Michael Jackson, aka Mike Jack.